first one we're going to be taking a look at is Marco Rosa at Bournemouth. He says they're going to be finishing 11th. Do we think he's going to finish higher, lower, or just about the same?
I have him lower. Bournemouth lost the manager who built it all. What Bournemouth have become, top half of the table. They sell every summer. Rosa doesn't have the talent that he had when he was in the Bundesliga, so I think lower than 11th place.
I was tempted to follow that path because they also have one of their top goal scorers, Junior Krupi, who fractured his foot. And that's going to be sometime, might be back around the Boxing Day or Christmas, the festive period. But this is a well-oiled machine with Bournemouth. And Geoff, you know their administration, you know their footballing philosophy, and every single season we're waiting for Bournemouth to slide back. And now Europe is a big factor in this. Yeah. But Marco Rosa fits the bill and fits their DNA, no?
Yeah, I think you're on the right. Same lines as me, Mikey, in that it's such a well-oiled machine. Bill Foley has done an amazing job there. Their recruitment, I mean, time after time, we think, well, if they sell this player, they lose this player, surely they're going to fail. They keep going. They keep going. This will be a recurring theme when we go through JD's rankings. A lot of the time I look at the club behind it. It takes a lot for a single individual to wreck a club's season because they'll just get rid early doors. Now, I'm not suggesting that with him. I think that 6th last season was just an extraordinary, staggering finish. They have got Europe this year, so I think that'll be tougher on them. I think that's more of a factor necessarily, or not more of a factor, it's another factor in changing managers. So I think JD's about right there. I'll go with JD on that.
OK, so that's Bournemouth done. Xabi Alonso with Chelsea. JD put them as 5th. So he got fired by Real Madrid and now he's with the Blues. Do we think higher, lower, or the same? Around the same,
maybe 1 point higher. I could see them finishing easily in the top 4 position. Not that it matters in the Premier League. Top 5 goes to the Premier League. Xabi Alonso's Bayer Leverkusen unbeaten run is real, right? That's what led him to going to Real Madrid, where he seemed to have an issue with some of the big egos at Real Madrid. Maybe there's a few egos he has to contend with at Chelsea now.
Chelsea's closer to Real Madrid than it is Leverkusen.
Exactly. So that is the one area where I want to see how his man management pans out. Can he get the best out of these players that rebelled against him at Real Madrid?
Yeah, I think I'm a bit more optimistic on this Chelsea side solely because it's not just Xabi Alonso that's going to be leading the side in terms of discipline, in terms of leadership. This is why you bring in your Denny Welbecks. This is why you bring in your Jordan Henderson, who will be an extension of the coaching staff, very much in the same vein of form that we saw him use Granit Xhaka. This is the reason why he went after Granit Xhaka. And we had this debate back and forth about Enzo Fernandez or not. We'll see if that plays out on the pitch. Should he even stay? But I think Chelsea are building something. And I know that people are going to listen to this and think about, OK, well, Robert Sanchez is still a problem. I want to remind people that the transfer window is not done yet. There is a goalkeeper out there, former goalkeeper from Aston Villa. I say former because that's TBD. Emi Martinez, if you're Chelsea, you go after Emi Martinez. Imagine Emi Martinez in this Chelsea side. Would that change things for you guys?
Do you still have Chelsea right now winning the league, like you said yesterday?
Say that again?
You still have Chelsea winning the league?
I do.
So they're better than Arsenal?
Yeah, I think they can compete with Arsenal. Chelsea are my team that is closest to be ready to compete with Arsenal this campaign. And they're not done in the transfer window yet. I mean, reports are coming out that says Chelsea don't want Emi Martinez, but that is a player that you need to get to be competitive in the Premier League.
I'm big on Alonso, and I've said all along, it'll be between him and De Zerbi as to who improves their club the most. Probably be De Zerbi because they're starting so far back. Chelsea, I think, are going to be around about top 5 or above. Lowest they'll finish is 5th. No European football. I think he'll have learnt massively from his experience at Real Madrid. So I think that they'll be about there, yeah.
OK, so
I'm closer to Lahoud's confidence there. Yeah. But I agree about the goalkeeper. They've got to sort that.
OK. So we're all putting Chelsea 5th or above. On to our next one then. Pierre for Crystal Palace overtook Oliver Glasner, whose contract expired.
Ooh.
And JD
has of no confidence.
Put them at 18th, getting relegated.
This is my biggest disagreement with JD, who's usually spot on. I don't understand the logic behind this one. Sage pushed PSG with Lens. He won the Coupe de France, and we're saying now that he's going to get this team relegated. He is someone who showed in Ligue 1, where it's been just one team there, that with a fraction of the budget, we're talking 1/10 of the budget, he nearly pushed PSG to the brink domestically with Lens. What he did is extraordinary. One of the great stories from the last few years in European football. This guy's clearly a fantastic manager, really on the rise. He's going to get the most out of this Palace squad.
Where would you say they're going to finish?
Way more. I could see it being 10 spots ahead of 18th. I could see it being comfortably mid-table, but definitely not in the relegation zone.
Okay. Lahoud?
Yeah, I think it's absolute disrespect to Crystal Palace and disrespect to Pierre to put him in the relegation zone. I think it's pretty disrespectful because you're spot on about Pierre. He's used to playing a 3-4-3 formation, so it's not like Ruben Amorim coming into Manchester United where everyone's used to playing a back four, and then he says we're going to play a back three. If you've ever watched Ligue 1, if you've ever watched him in his Ligue 1 tenure, you would know that. But the big thing that I see is their ability to have kept the players from last campaign. You and I were talking about how significant is Jean-Philippe Mateta and Ismail Yassar to this whole campaign this season?
Absolutely massive. And don't forget, he's coming into a club as well on the back of winning trophies, which they've never done in their history. Last couple of seasons, Palace fans have never had it so good. So it's not like he's inheriting a struggling side who only just beat relegation last season, who were in all sorts of problems. Now, last season, bear in mind the whole Glasner situation, Mateta situation, they handled it pretty well as a club. Steve Parish and co did an excellent job. So, yeah, I'm far more confident. I'm safely mid-table for me.
OK, safely mid-table for Crystal Palace. Then on to another club in London, Fulham. JD has got them finishing 14th with their new coach, Alvaro Arbeloa, another former Real Madrid head coach who got the boot. Where do you think they're going to finish?
Around the same, but I worry about Fulham. Alvaro Arbeloa has no senior managing experience except a few months at Real Madrid. He brought over Gonzalo Garcia. That's his big bet, someone that he knows from Real Madrid. 6 La Liga goals has turned into a £40 million signing, roughly. So I worry about the striker position, inexperience across the board. So I think 14th is probably best case scenario.
Yeah, I'm with you, Matteo. I look more at the players that they've lost. Raul Jimenez is a massive miss for them, but I look at the Welshman and Harry Wilson. I mean, last season he could not stop scoring in the back half of the campaign. So that's 10 or 11 goals that you're missing within a side that in the final third, seeing how their season kind of petered out. New manager who's new to the Premier League. Look, Alvaro Arbeloa, he had his flashpan moments. You think of how he was able to get the best out of Vinny Jr. at different points, but I think that he's going to be up against it, and I actually think this could get worse than where JD has them.
Worse than 14th?
Yeah.
I always think about Fulham. I mean, Marco Silva was such a force of nature as a person. I always think about Fulham. There are only a few results of having a brilliant season, and there are only a few results of having a very, very worrying season. So I'm not filled with confidence here. I think 14th, Fulham would probably snatch a hand off for right now.
OK. OK, on to our next one, Ipswich Town. So they've just been promoted from the Championship. JD has got them finishing 19th. So he thinks they're going to be going straight back down under Gary O'Neill.
Completely agree with him. Newly promoted sides have struggled, and I think Ipswich goes straight back down to the Championship.
Yeah, look, I think Ipswich fans, and I know a few of them, definitely a few close family friends, they're going to be over the moon about Julio and Ciso coming in, but that's not enough quality to stay up in the Premier League. They go down.
Yep, I'm with him.
Yeah. So we think... So we think that they'll go straight back down to the Championship. OK.
Unfortunately.
That was pretty straightforward there. Everyone kind of agreed with JD. OK, on to our next one. Andoni Iraola with Liverpool coming in, replacing Arne Slot. He came from a good stint at Bournemouth. JD has got them finishing 4th.
I did so much research on Iraola this summer when it looked like he was going to join Milan. Obviously, we cover Milan here extensively on the network. I am so high on him, on his philosophy. I think he's a much better version of Marcelo Bielsa, who's the person that inspired him. And I think that his pressing style, Liverpool is going to be maximized with Iraola, just like Bournemouth were. It's a huge stepping stone for him, but with everything I've read, even his thesis, I believe in everything he's preaching so much. I think better than 4th place. I think 2nd or 3rd.
Ooh, 2nd or 3rd, so over Chelsea.
Yes.
Over Man City.
Maybe just before. Maybe Liverpool, Man City, Liverpool. Sorry. Arsenal.
We got him.
I like him so much.
We got him.
Even the reserves are doing well.
I'm going to clone them. I'm going to clone Iraola. I have him 3rd.
Well, that's AI for you, isn't it?
There we go.
Where do you have them, Lahoud?
I have them missing out of the Champions League, this current team.
Oh, wow.
And I think that if your season is dependent on Ronald Araujo to be a makeshift right back, and yes, there's a player in there somewhere, but I just don't know. I think that it's asking a lot of a thin squad right now who is going to be competing in the Champions League and across multiple competitions. This feels like an incomplete squad. If they get Bradley Barcola, if they get Ibrahim Mbaye, which looks like it's leading in that direction, I'll change my mind. But right now, on this day, I don't have him finishing there. I have him out of the Champions League.
Wow.
Agree with everything you say about Iraola, but this is Liverpool. You win at Bournemouth, it's great. At Liverpool, it's expected. This is a massive step up. I'm not saying he can't do it, but we don't know if he can do it. He's never managed at this level. And this is a club coming off the back of a disappointing season. They've got a lot of huge stars that haven't gelled. So he's got to bring alchemy somewhere, somehow. So I think they are far from a certain bet. I'm fifth or sixth.
Just very quickly before we move on, does Arne Slot's first season heroics, does that give you that sort of confidence in where you're saying, hey, they can go and push?
I think it's just everyone that Bournemouth has lost in every transfer window and how he instantly kept this team cohesive, keep them playing pretty much the same style of football. And I get...
You could argue that the recruitment department had a big part of it and supplied him with equally good players each time.
Yeah, and you'd assume Liverpool would do the same with a much higher transfer budget, right?
Yeah. They've brought in a couple of faces anyway for this summer already. Another top club, Chelsea, welcoming Enzo Maresca. No, not Chelsea, Manchester City, excuse me. There's so many changes, I can't keep up. Manchester City welcoming Enzo Maresca, taking over from Pep Guardiola, who was there for 10 seasons. JD has got them finishing second.
I had maybe one spot less. I don't want to be reactionary based on what we saw in the Charity Shield, but, man, if he's redoing that entire midfield, especially now with Rodri leaving to La Liga. We're going to have a brand new midfield. Anderson, it's only his first game, so I'm not going to jump to conclusions. Does Buwadi come in? Enzo Fernandez? It is going to be a completely different looking identity. And how many managers have taken over a dynasty of a decade and improved on it? So I have some worries with City. So maybe slightly worse. Could be fair.
Yeah, I still have City in Champions League places, and whether it's second, whether it's fourth, I have them lower, but only slightly lower, and I'm with you on that.
It's weird because they had a poor weekend, but I've still got them coming second. You know, it's not like he doesn't know the club. It's not like he doesn't know Pep's methods, and that's the right name, but doing it's a different thing. I still think he'll pull them round, and they are relatively... For instance, his job is a more settled job than Iraola's. In my mind, more settled than Alonso. The club is more settled. It's only the midfield that needs fixing. The rest of it's pretty much okay. They've not got too many problems there. So I'm still confident that they will be
But the midfield was a huge part of their identity for 10 years. So
I still think that they will be Arsenal's closest challengers.
OK, in second place. Agreeing with JD there. OK, on to our next one. Matthias Jaissle for Newcastle. JD has them finishing in 16th place. The German manager joined from Al Ahly.
Jaissle. This is the biggest step in his career as well. He's managed in the Middle East. He's been in Austria. Jaissle, I had watched his Salzburg team play in the Champions League, and I was so impressed with the high press, the possession, and a lot of those guys got sold off for big money. But this Newcastle side's been absolutely gutted. I think maybe a little bit better than 16th. I don't think they're going to risk going down, but I don't think they'll be in the top half of the table. So whether it's 12, 13, 14, the point is they're not going to European football.
I said it before, and everyone laughed when I said it. I'm going to say it again. I worry about Newcastle being relegated this campaign. This Newcastle side, I know that Newcastle fans will not want to hear this, but a new manager who's come in, and yes, he's won trophies where he's been before, but this is Newcastle. And the ways they've been gutted, the identity of the team has been thrown out. I know you have Harvey Barnes, but it's a lot of pieces lost. Johan Wissa and Nick Voltemata, they have to come good this season or else it's curtains.
Rip the guts out in the midfield as well. I think they'll struggle, but are they better than the three teams that came up?
Yeah.
Probably. Probably. So, honestly, people think that JD has paid me. I think he might be right once again.
Yeah, 16th place.
Yeah, I just don't get any good vibes about Newcastle at the moment. I don't get any at all. So I think they are going to have a tough season, and this could be a baptism of fire. Yeah,
you mentioned that are they better than the three that got promoted? Where did JD put Coventry in this list? He must have put them pretty high.
15th.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, I didn't see that. I thought it was above 10th. All right, on to our next one. Oliver Glasner with Nottingham Forest came from Palace.
Yeah.
JD has got them finishing 10th.
Yeah, around there. Austrian managers normally high press. His is low block, pragmatic, vertical very quickly. I think the team will be very difficult to break down like all Glasner teams.
Yeah, the big question that I have is, will Marinakis give him time? You know,
It depends how he gets on with Marinakis.
Glasner is a brilliant manager, but Marinakis, he's the joker and the wild card in the bunch. So I agree with JD, but I'm still questionable about Marinakis.
And Glasner was vocal about sales at Crystal Palace, wasn't he?
Yeah, yeah, but there's an asterisk here. It's how that goes. Which, I mean, Glasner is cool. Marinakis, I mean, this is fire and ice, isn't it?
Thanks for watching this video from Morning Footy. For all news and insights regarding leagues around the world like EFL, Serie A, and all UEFA competitions, both men's and women's, don't forget to sign up for Paramount Plus.